Welcome, my beautiful souls, to another soul surgery. So let's dive in and see what is going on beyond the veil, my beautiful souls. So we always have a free card set up. So to the left of us, we always have what deity, what faculty, what state of our consciousness and energy is currently activated or we should be utilizing or focus on or appeasing or invoking. Then we move to what's going on mundanely. So just is like using astrology to kind of map out what situations we or challenges or areas of focus are for us currently. And then we go to the action where we're losing the yogic path. We're taking certain spiritual Vedic principles and we're using those principles as a means to guide our action in order to be in alignment with the Kemetic energy which we start off here. So yeah, we're mixing up. This is what we do in soul surgery. We mix up the different cultures, different spiritual systems, because they're all one, inevitably, just different tongues. Same message, my beautiful souls. So this week, the God that we're dealing with, the Kemetic God that we're dealing with, is, I'm gonna do this because I'm not sure about YouTube and what is allowed to be seen and what isn't allowed to be seen. But this is the god Min, right? Fertility and creation, my beautiful souls. So with this god, where my finger is, as you can see, is where his phallic symbol is, his phallic piece is, right? God is normally depicted with an erected, my beautiful souls, right? To represent, as you can see in the bottom, fertility and creation, my beautiful souls. So this is to do with our life force, right? Blatant, plain and simple. Like how we arouse our life force, how we utilize our life force. So yes, there is a sexual life force or an aspect of our life force that is sexual, which people use to obviously reproduce. So for all of those who are thinking of having a baby, right? This is a message towards your sense of fertility, like your ability to conceive, right? This is starting to do with your state of your life force, how your life force is being aroused, how it's being sustained and maintained will depict your fertility, right? For those who are not having children, right? This is, you still need your life force in order to create some sort of project or to achieve some sort of task, right? Or to change some sort of behavior, right? So this means there's two factors to this. Sometimes the life force can sit very dormant. It can be very lethargic. It can feel stuck, right? And this inevitably will lead to some form of disease, right? Or depression or anxiety. So we're saying that we can use forms of creative and sexual stimulation to arouse the life force, so one is now able to achieve the endeavors that they have, right, my beautiful souls. Then there's another aspect of this which is more about sexual sublimation, my beautiful souls, where we use tantric principles, you could say, right? Different principles that stimulate the life force, or sexual acts that stimulate the life force, right? Arouse the life force, but instead of releasing the life force through our fluids, which would lead to life and the reproduction, right, my beautiful souls. This is more a form of regenerative sex. So it's about creating that network, right, stimulating and arousing the life force from the core or base of your spine or just below your navel chakra. And then as you breathe and control your breath, you're creating a circuit. So you're breathing in the universal chi, life force energy, the shekem, right? And then it's mixing with your prenatal chi, the chi that the life force you've been given as a living organism, which sustains, depending on how we sustain, that determines how long we live for and the type or quality of life, my beautiful souls. So there's two messages here when it comes to the God thingy. You can see he's holding the flail, right, which represents his ability to lead, ability to remove the chaff from the wheat, right? Do you understand? So this is the ability, again, to raise your life force to the crown chakra, my beautiful souls, and then that will empower or unlock more divine knowing, if you want to call it that. You can see he's also wearing these double plumes, right? Which is like a form of righteousness of Ma'at, or you can see it as with the solar disc also it's linking back to Ra and that primal life force energy and source, my beautiful souls, right? So there's a number of factors there when it comes to your life force. So I'm going to turn it around because, like I said, I don't know with YouTube, I don't need to be getting no sanctions. But there was a message with this. We got the 7 of Swords, my beautiful souls, when it comes to this Min energy, and the 6 of Pentacles, right? To do with the condition. I feel there's some form of disillusionment on how we see the concept of sex and relationships, right? I believe this is someone, or this is our energy being wasted, because the 6 of the Pentacles can be seen as a form of a charity card, and that's the energy I'm getting, material success here, but I'm getting the charitable aspect from this card through this message. The 7 of Swords is denotes that you could say it says the Lord of the unstable effort, but how I see this is a snaky energy. This is manipulation, whether coming from your community, my beautiful souls. So be very aware of energy vampires, right? The people that are, and what people are offering. It's almost like someone's offering you something and it feels very 6 of Cups-ish. 7 of Cups is there's a lot of few options, but to really make the right choice is to really know your worth. And when you know your worth, right, then that determines how you live your life, or how you harness your life force energy, whether you waste it through chasing a fantasy, through sex, drugs and rock and roll, right? Or you practice sublimation, you practice moderation, right? You understand, you store your energy, you rise your energy to achieve a task, and then you release, right? So they're showing that there's some level of control, but this is here somebody lying to themselves, right? I'm seeing with the 7, I'm seeing that someone is lying to themselves, or allowing themselves to be tricked by the glitter and the glamour. You understand? So the 6 of Pentacles does denote the moon being inside Taurus, right? So this is a very fertile period, right? This is definitely a period to lay the seeds, but you have to be careful which soil. Not all soil are the same. My beautiful, say they say grass is green on the other side, and it's because the soil is different. Different soil carries different nourishments and different enrichment. So we have to be very careful, right, with the plans that we're setting up or what we're accepting for ourselves, right? We have to be also know that we could be depleting our energy by not completing and finishing tasks, right? So we need to be able to preserve our energy, but make sure that we're matching our energy with our plans, my beautiful soul. So be aware with that energy right now. So there is some level of discernment of the life force energy, or a request for us to understand the deeper principles of the life force and of what we're trying to achieve. It's saying that whether this is love, relationships, right? If you are in a partnership, it's about understanding that intimate connection. There is a deeply spiritual and sacred exchange, and it's energetic, and that's something that we should be aware of. But also without that, if it's something that you're trying to create, you can't achieve nothing, which I always say, without fuel. So the state of our fuel and how we preserve ourselves, or how we preserve the life force, is highly important in relation to the quality of work that we perform or that we create, my beautiful souls. So let's keep it moving. What's going on right now astrologically in the mundane world? Interesting. We've got Jupiter. I'll do them one by one. We've got Jupiter, right, in Leo. Interesting. This will happen, I think, around May, right? So especially for the people who have projects, right? This is someone stepping out and showing the world who they are. As you can see, it says publicity, right? Jupiter is expansion. Expanding through Leo is expanding of the ego, right? Expanding of your royalty, your regalness, saying this is who I am, showing the world what you are, creating access, right? You see the fifth house at the top, my beautiful souls, has to do with children, has to do with taking a risk, has to do with maybe sport, has to do with creativity and dating, my beautiful souls. So this is where I think this warning is coming in as well, because putting yourself out there, it means you could entertain dating. This could lead to a birth of a child. So we need to be very careful of one night stands, my beautiful souls, because one night stands could lead to a future. It could I would say a torment. It could create another path for you, which in a sense wasn't essentially the path that you was on. So the path that you're supposed to be on is, I suppose, the path you choose, right? So be careful making choices based on sexual arousal or sexual needs or stimulus or sensual needs, right? Or any form of emotional need, my beautiful souls. But on the same level, right, this is a time to shine, right? To show the world who you truly are, your most authentic self. So if you have been hiding, if you have been supplementing your energies, if you have been holding back for periods of time, this is a period of time where spirit says it's okay to date, to entertain, right? To test the waters, if you will, creative projects or with actual relationships. There is something about children called fifth house Leo energy always brings up children. So maybe this could be how you help your children, if you have children, expand and become their own individuals, boost their own confidence. And then we've got acquisition. We've got Taurus energy. So Taurus is coming up again, right? Because we had it in the 6th here. So this is Taurus, the sun in Taurus, right in the 2nd house. Using some sort of skills that you have. This is about generating wealth. The more you put yourself out there, it's almost like your life force equals financial currency. I'm getting that energy here. So the more life force you supplemented, right, or the more you've replenished your life force, the more you've kept your life force clean, is the more currency, the more wealth you can attract towards you. Apply that how it makes sense to you, but there is definitely a correlation to a person's libido and their ability to achieve the projects that they're trying to achieve. Someone who is highly intelligent, right, and highly creative will naturally have a very high life force life force energy. So that energy doesn't necessarily need to be siphoned away through meaningless sex, I would say, right? But on the same level, if you find yourself as a creative, or you find yourself stuck and you've been in this limbo mode, right, you might find that some sort of creative or sexual arousal or stimulus, right, could actually attract wealth. So some of y'all, with this acquisition part, this could be about, like I said, coupling up or forming the thought of forming family. This could be where the children aspect comes in too. So it's like I'm getting the energy of some people thinking about starting a family. What does it mean to start a family? What kind of household I want to live in? What kind of work do I want to be doing? How do I want to utilize my skills to provide for all of this? So all of that energy is there, my beautiful source of what's going on currently. Let's just balance this like that. Kaboom! Now let's go to, this is the action card. So this is what we're looking to do spiritually, or what's being asked for us in this creative time. And we've got Lakshmi, my beautiful souls. This is the goddess of wealth, fortune, love, and abundance. All of that goodness, my beautiful souls. But it's asking, how do you see yourself, right? Because you know what they say, you are what you think, right? So are you seeing the beauty that you are, right? And so that means that you're not looking for someone to fill a void within you, because you know the fullness of yourself, right? So you're not looking for someone to provide you with love, to to satisfy your needs. You're looking for a companion that matches your vibration and energy, right? Do you understand, my beautiful souls? So if we think about this in a sense of self-worth, your ability to acknowledge talents, gifts, we had the second house there, and creativity, right? If we don't acknowledge these things within us, if we think that, oh, I'm not good enough, I don't have the skill, my skill is not ready, I still need to learn more, what spirit's saying in this psychosomatic world is that that will be your fate, right? It's like Lakshmi's gift is the ability to believe and know, is to know, so you don't have to believe. Know the abundance of this universe, know the abundance of your essential self, my beautiful souls. And this starts with your 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 personality or your ego. This is where the fifth house Leo energy is coming out, because I would say your ego is not the enemy. It's for you to declare whom you are, right? Not to be egotistical, right? But if you don't acknowledge your own talents, how can you generate wealth? And the Leo energy means acknowledge your talents so that people can see you have this gift, and now you serve the community. With Leo is not about the ego and the tyrannical and the fame lusting soul, my beautiful souls. Leo has that need to be seen because it has a talent that needs to be shared with the community because they're thirsty, and it has the water. That's why its opposite is Aquarius, right? And Aquarius is the water bearer, but it deals with the soul or the core of the individual, where the Leo deals with that expression of it on the external side, my beautiful souls. So this is what Lakshmi is really asking for you, is to acknowledge self, knowledge your talents, knowledge your gifts, right? Know that you are wealthy. If you think you're broke, then you are broke and broken, my beautiful souls. So that's what she's saying is available to you. That's the mindset. It's a very Jupiterian energy. It's a Mayat energy also. So understanding that life works in a interconnected way. So everything that's happened leads you to a certain point, right? There is no enemies, right? In the essence of you're not enough or someone's able to conquer you, right? Everything is just bringing you to this realization of essential self, which is limitless and abundant. You see this energy here with the Two of Swords. A lot of this mind energy, we're playing games with ourselves, my beautiful souls. We can only be of one mind. So you cannot say that I am a singer, I am a painter, I am a dressmaker, but then you're working in McDonald's or you're working in an office, right? Because it creates confusion. The energies cannot manifest. As you can see, why we have the US scepter here, which represents the ability to control life force energy. And if we go closer, you see Mesfer, right? This energy, Mesfer, represents the ability to plan, have control over your will, right? To stand in your will, not to be manipulated by your emotions. So the world, yes, does want certain things from you, and life, you need to be providing and all of that goodness there, right? But the Two of Swords is saying that there seems to be a split. The two is a duality, right? And it's saying peace restored because it wants that peace to be restored, right? It wants you to not be on two minds, heart versus the soul, right? You know, not heart versus the mind, meaning that you, again, there's a survival self, right, which is the animal self, and which is the self that we use to survive our personality in this system. And then you have purpose, the contract that you sign to come to this earth, to experience certain things, to do certain things, right? Hence why you have certain karmic gifts, my beautiful souls. So it's about that battle. There's a battle between the two, and you need to stand in the middle of this Vescale Pisces. As you can see, two Sapphires right in the middle. It's almost like that third eye, right? Use your intuition to guide you, right? You're not going to have all the answers or see everything. This is where faith, through knowing how the system works, the system is knowing your own composition, right? Born with the same qualities, but not the same quantity. Will as a creative force and power, energy, the physical form and everything that exists. You determine your fate by your self-belief. What is your God, my beautiful soul? Is your doubts your God? Is your money your God? Because if you start a project with, I don't have the money, then the project won't initiate. So money, if you look on it, shouldn't even be your focus at the beginning. It should be simply I have an idea. Then we say, okay, is this in alignment with my purpose? And then once we have that, we have the green light. Then it's about, okay, let's plan, right? And then once we say let's plan, we have the ability to create and attract all the fortune or the resources or the money that we require, as long as we are sure in ourselves of who and what we are and what it is that we're trying to achieve. This is what we call miracles. We create that, or we create our own misery through doubt and fear, my beautiful soul. This is the universe. Don't let them trick you. You and it are one. It wants you to succeed, because failure means that it itself cannot express, live, experience. So, do you know what I'm saying, my beautiful soul? So that is the truer meaning, in a sense, of the Two of Swords, right? It's giving you the ability to cut through the illusion of survival, right? And really be honest to yourself, right? Lakshmi saying it's okay to dream. It's okay to want, right? You know what I'm saying? It's okay to know that you're enough. And it's okay to know that you're going to get something of that value. But what we don't want is to manipulate ourselves and open up ourselves to the wrong kind of connections, to the wrong careers, my beautiful souls. Like, we don't want to waste our energy where we don't have to. Do you understand? Energy is precious. Time is precious, my beautiful souls. So that is the message this week, my beautiful souls. Let me know in the comments how everything resonates, what comes up for you, what you experienced during the week, or what you're experiencing now. It's all love. You know, a problem shared is a problem aired is a problem shared, as they say. So Hetepu, peace to you, my beautiful souls. Love, peace, a little bit of darkness, light, and abundance, my beautiful souls.